So welcome to Glo-Bus Pro Tips for Decision Entry, Step 5, Compensation and Facilities. For compensation facilities, we want the maximum earnings per share without inflating wages for later years and to have a very efficient factory. Let's dive right in. In previous steps for product design and marketing, we increased the factory size so that it would get our decision making in those areas out of the way of the unit shortfalls that might occur. First thing I like to do is start with the assembly facility and tweak that so that I have a little bit better idea of how to maximize my earnings per share. The assembly capacity has three numbers: the assembly capacity without overtime, assembly capacity with overtime, and the projected camera demand. So this is what I expect to produce. I need to bring the assembly capacity and the overtime down so that this number of projected demand is in between the assembly capacity with overtime and without. So I'll do that by decreasing the number of installed workstations. And if I decrease it down 60, maybe 20. And here I've got a number that is pretty close to what I need to be. And I can decrease the facility as well to the same as the number of installed workstations that I expect. This gives me a projected camera demand, and it also gives me an expected ACC unit shortfall of 0. I never want this to be a number that is a shortfall or unsatisfied demand, because the units will then be given to my competitors, and I've spent a whole lot of effort in my product design and marketing to try and generate those sales. And when my factory can't produce them, that's a loss of effort for me. And then I look at camera workforce compensation. I like to keep my base wages at around 1%. In the very last year, you can decrease your base wages, but it will affect your projected camera capability. For each one of these decisions, we need to make sure that the camera workforce is less well paid than the UAV drone workforce compensation. And the reason is because the camera workforce will look to the drone workforce as the place to be, and they will preferentially treat that as a high quality place. As the metric for drones being quality is more important for the drones than it is for the cameras. So we want to make sure that our workforce is well paid, doing really well at putting together the drones and gaining better quality. So if they feel like they're better paid, they'll produce better numbers of units. All right. So here I've got assembly quality. I usually use a base wage of 1. Assembly quality incentive. I can increase and decrease, and I'm looking for the earnings per share, the best earnings per share, which is this number down here. And so if I go down to the lowest, my earnings per share is lower, and it seems like as I increase that up to the maximum 150, that's my best earnings per share. Cycle through the next one. Best attendance bonus. Where can I get the best attendance bonus? Looks like if I go to 1500, that also gives me the best. The best fringe benefits package. If I decrease that, I'm not getting a lot of benefit out of that, but it looks like I'm getting, if I increase the fringe benefits, it looks like I'm getting better assembly capacity by a couple of units. So I'm going to go with the maximum there. And then I go into camera workforce, and I look at where is the best place for me to be for camera assembly quality and incentive. And it looks like that's the one. And I cycle through this, and where is it going to be for the best earnings per share there? And then I look at fringe benefits package. Where is the best earnings per share for that fringe benefits package? And it looks like it's a 0 fringe benefits. Very last thing is Robotics Upgrade. Robotics Upgrade is fairly simple. When you initiate, you want to see the net annual cost impact to be a negative number. You want to have the robotics to be beneficial to you, and you want to do it with a margin of safety. You want to make sure that this number is at least negative 500 to negative 1,000 to be able to initiate that upgrade, and that is usually best served with a 100% loan of a 10-year loan. If you issue stock, then it will drive down your it will increase the number of shares that you have, which in this calculation of earnings divided by the number of shares will decrease your earnings per share, which is something that we're trying to avoid. So let's take a look at the robotics upgrade for the cameras. If we initiate the upgrade, we're doing it with 100% 10-year loan, and it looks like the cost impact, meaning the cost it will increase. So we don't want a cost increase by initiating this upgrade. That would be a poor investment decision. So we just leave it as note upgrade.